Okay, so if you have not done so already, our book should be opened to page 66. 566. Alrighty, so we're going to get started here today with our lesson on fossils. Before we get rolling, I just wanted to do a quick review, something that we wrote down in our notes on page 566, and that is a key vocab term to know and to understand, and that is what is known as uniformitarianism. Fun word to say, it's a long word to say. Uniformitarianism. So on page 566, we need to know the definition to help us kind of understand and to discuss what will lead us into our activity today for fossils. Caden, can you read us the definition for uniformitarianism?
States that geologic processes that occur today are similar to those that have occurred in the past.
Okay, so some geologic processes. Recall back from our previous chapter that dealt with, actually 2 chapters ago, that dealt with the scientist by the name of Alfred Wegener and his theory of something. You guys remember what that theory was?
Plate tectonics.
Plate tectonics, very good. Theory of plate tectonics, continental drift, how continents are shuffled around and moved around from the past. And one of his key things that he used to help prove his theory was something related to what we're talking about today. What was one thing, remember his clues that continents were drifting and moving around? There was about 4 of them that we talked about and discussed. Which one was his clue or his proof to the fact of the matter that continents were shifting around? Gustavo, you remember? Fossils. And what about fossils? Where did he find them?
Coastlines.
Along coastlines, and one coastline was here, another was here. They were 4,000 miles away. How in the world did they get there? And so uniformitarianism states what is happening today has happened in the past, and that has led to the discovery and use of fossils. Here up, focus your attention to the board, please. I found, or actually I shouldn't say I found, Mr. Shanerock found me something pretty cool that relates to our previous chapter that he shared to me on the Book of Face. Facebook. No laugh on that man. Tough crowd today. Jeez. Okay, so there is an animation of what the world looked like, what the continents looked like as we go back in time. So here's Earth. We can scroll back and look into and observe what the continents looked like at a given point in time. So here we are, North America, present day. So notice what happens as we work our way back in time, starting with 65 million years ago, which we have found fossils from 65 million years ago. Remember our activity that we did with Pangea? In the collision of this country, anybody remember what this country is called? Australia, right there.
Africa.
Africa's right there.
India.
India, very good. What does India collide with? Or what does it form? Collides with Asia, forming the largest mountain chains that are still growing today. Himalayas, very good. Boy, we need to work on our geography. Now, fast forward back in time 240 million years ago. Here is what the continent looked like, or the continents, I should say, looked like, including the United States. Here's Nebraska located right here. Notice they are all together. Here's another key information. Notice the poles. What's that?
There's nothing.
There's nothing. What normally do you expect to have at the poles?
Oh,
Snow and ice.
Ice.
So we were actually free of any ice long time ago. So this is something that we will look at and use in the future efforts. But here's the key to take away. There was no ice back, this is 240 million years ago. And ice is one of 5 ways that we can preserve fossils. If you would please, flip to page 568. The key in preserving remains. The key for the key for having fossils being created is either a quick burial or one of the preserved remains that we're going to look at, and that is frozen. So you're looking at on 568 the 6 different kinds of fossils, and we're going to do an activity with this tomorrow. But the one that I want to look at is preserved remains on 568. Gustavo, can you read that information for us on 568 underneath where it says preserved remains for us?
Organisms wrapped in or carpets or ice can be preserved for dozens of years. This baby mammoth was preserved in ice for more than 17,000 years before it was frozen.
Very good. Preserved remains, which are frozen, tend to have the most information that you can research and find out about that type of fossil. And of course, there's 5 other ways that you're going to look at today with the video, if you haven't done the video yet. But preserved remains are able to keep that object, keep that organism as if it looks like it was alive. Focus your attention to the board. Here's one. This is kind of the one that's in the book. Here's a mammal, a baby mammoth that was frozen 25,000 years ago, something like that. And it looks so real. It looks like it could come right alive. And again, these were, of course, found in Siberia. They were frozen in snow and in glaciers. And then you have amber is another preserved remain where you have the actual living organism as it once was.
Isn't that how Jurassic Park started?
Well, yeah, now remember, Jurassic Park is a movie, and it is fake, but there is something that is somewhat like Jurassic Park, and that is possibly bringing back the mammoth with the DNA. Yes?
I was watching this documentary, and they found like 2 old lion cubs, and they were fully preserved. And
I was
they
trying
could
to, just trying to find the lion cubs.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there. I just had it today.
There was still fur on them and stuff.
Gross. That looks
Don't you
tasty.
just want to go up and cuddle with the dirt?
Here it is, right here.
Actually, I do.
So there was
Whoa.
lion cubs found in a cave. These were about 35,000. These cave lions are now extinct, obviously. But these were found, again, preserved remains. They look like you can just go up and slap it upside its nose and it'll bite back at you. And that is a preserved remain. Preserved remains are so well taken care of because of ice. Because a quick burial in either ice or snow, and basically they have a quick burial, and then over time, obviously, eventually they'll fall out. They'll freeze, exactly. You send dead bodies where dead bodies go.
In the ground?
Well, before that, before they got to take care of
In a
them.
furnace?
Well, that's before that. You go to the morgue, and in the morgue they put them in on ice. Essentially, you hear them saying, "Put them on ice." That's because it stops the decomposition, the breaking down of that tissue. And again, preserved remains is one of the 6 types of preservations that you'll be looking at today. Okay, so that's kind of where our area of focus will be here for the next couple of days, moving forward. So here's your thing. You got 2 things to do. If you have not seen that, I posted the video on Tuesday on types of fossils. You need to watch that first. I'll obviously change this date. This date will be moved to tomorrow. So you'll have the fossil video you got to watch, and then 2, you'll have a type of fossil assignment. This won't be due until next week. It'll be due Monday morning at 8. But right now, first thing that you need to do today is go ahead and get started with this video. And then, of course, I have the information listed on what you will need to do related to this assignment. In 5 and 8 sentences, you're going to mention about the 6 fossils and if there was anything missing that we just discussed. Okay? So this is your number 1 priority right now. If you have not finished your study guide, make sure you do that. Okay? Questions?
No.
Okay. Vamos.
Mr. Gable.